Okay, so let's review this Comet system, right? Because I made several updates to this. So I I cleaned up the code. This is like the logics, right? Um, and so this hasn't changed from a while ago. There's a user logic here. This hasn't really changed from the last video. And the record logic here, this slightly changed. I named things so that it's clear what we're trying to achieve, right? So we have what's called create commit record, right? This is where you um, actually you go to, you know what? Let's take a look at this. Where is this at? Yeah, this is edit. Actually, this is actually the edit part. Um, yeah, this is the edit part here. Icon reply. Basically, this is the edit, the main edit here. So let's not say this is the create. This is actually not the create. So we'll call this update. Uh, update commit record, right? In fact, you know what? Let's do the let's just change it within this thing here. Mm, we'll call this thing edit because essentially we are editing this edit commit record. When you go to click on edit, this is what is captured, right? And this thing down here is really when we're um, talking about this guy here, we are really saying, um, yeah, let's say for example, this guy is really the edit reply comment, right? Let's make no mistake about that because I know it's updating or add whatever. Uh, 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 there's create and there's update. So create and there's update. Perhaps I mean we could use the terms interchangeably. You know, we could say, hey, what are we doing? We updating or we creating, right? So perhaps maybe I could change this back to update and this back to update as well, right? Because essentially that is what we're doing. We're updating, right? We're not creating anything. Um, so when you click on reply, that is something else. Let's say, for example, let's look at the code for reply. Right here is reply, and you actually click on it, and it actually here down here. No, actually reply is here. So what we're doing is we're activating the show reply comment, right? Um, now this is basically displaying all of your this guy here is really displaying all of your avatar for your reply avatar. Okay. Where else? Yeah, it's actually showing a lot of your pieces of code here. I wish they just highlight all of them. That'd be easier to see. You have to click through all of them sucks. Anyways, at the very bottom here, it's not going to display unless you clicked on reply, and you can hide all of it too, right? So hide all of it, show all of it, and this is the entire. Maybe I should call this like show all reply components, right? Or show all reply UI or something like that. show all, oops, show all reply comment UI, right? Okay. So like that right here it makes a lot more sense now because if you click on reply, you're not showing one thing only. You're actually showing all of it. But the only issue is that um, the only issue is that when you click on reply, it also hides things like like initially hide the edit reply comment, right? And the edit reply comment is actually accessible after you show edit reply comment is after. See here, it's activated by this button here. Um, show edit reply comment. Notice that if I go to it, right, this is where if you click on edit, edit becomes true. It displays the next UI. So think of it as a hierarchical. When you click on reply, it opens up the main one, but then it also closes the sub, uh, the lower one, so that it knows, so that how it plays is it makes sure that only things are displayed in a timely order, right? Like if you click on reply and you hide it, right, and you click it again, this was open before, edit reply, right? You click on reply, then you click it again. So it seems like things are as expected. So at some point, right? See here, you could edit this, and then if you click on reply again, click on it again, it'll have this. Maybe, yeah. So I mean, it's not. So hiding and displaying of the UI is very appropriate. I mean, it's something that you have to consider here, right? So say for example, this UI here is only available whenever certain conditions are met. I could essentially update my UI at the same time reply to it as well. Well, not at the same time, but have it actively display. So what we're doing here is we click on reply, and we could start over on this. But we have edit comment record. If you click on edit comment record here, it's actually not turned on for some reason. Oh, look. This comment record is actually not what we expect it to be. Hmm. So 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 I made a mistake here. Actually, these actually, you know what? These are record logics. These are record. I should call this record types. You have the edit comment record and edit reply comment record. You gotta make sure like where all of these are located. Makes sense. Okay, so this makes sense. This is when you click on reply. Well, um, this is the main comment here. When you click on, okay, so here, when you click on, when you click on, you try to. This is when you're trying to edit. Okay, so hmm, okay. So think of it this way: we have um, edit, comment. This is the main, and so show edit main comment. So whenever you also have the main comment here. Main comment. This is when you want to. This is basically when you want to view, right? So it's whenever you want to view, this is what you see here. Okay, so this makes sense. Hold on, let's see. Text comment if this is. So whenever we're not um, displaying the edit, then that's when we display this guy here. This only displays whenever we're not. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Let's put this here. Let's say this entire thing. So let's suppose you got this main avatar here, right? And then you also have this main comment here. And this is nested inside of a columns layout. So let's do a main comment here, right? That's the main comment UI. And then, so if you ever get into building something complicated like this, you have to make sure that you go back into your code and review everything so that things are things make sense and things are strong as they are, right? As they should be. So this is a very simple card layout. Either display or hide, either show edit mode or Maybe things have to be like this so that, you know, yeah, I think this is good. We're gonna indent a couple times down here because this is the main. So basically what we could do is we could beautify this code so that it's easier to maintain later. End, right? So that it's easier to. So we got this main comment up here, right? It's got the avatar and it's got this thing up here, and it's like it's really you can edit it, but then you can just view it, right? So if we're scrolling along here and we say main avatar, main UI, main comment view only, main comment edit, it's very it's easier to understand now. So you always have to go back and say, look, this entire thing here, break it down better to, or it's better for us to support it later. Now this thing down here is another animal because it's got a few more things in here. So I'm just going to go. This thing is really okay. So this contains the. This is a sub widget, right? Main comment sub widget. Either edit or view. So this contains stuff like posted date time, um, like, apply, and then edit, and then trash. Something like that, right? So we gotta make our code. So this is this widget here. We have a posted time here, like, um, reply, edit, and delete. So you come here, you automatically say, okay, so this is this piece here, right? You got the side by side bar here. So you could do something like this, right? And then you could do something like this here is actually the created date, right? And you gotta like indent these too. I mean, you carry a new line here because it's easier to understand that way. Like this. That's new line too. So it's just so much easier to find your code later if you do this. And also like for you to understand it and reflect on it, and it's not just for you to support later, but it's really for you to understand what future enhancements you can actually do to it, right? So just keep that in mind. It's for your own future prospects. So future prospect is very important because without it, you don't have any innovation, right? You can't innovate this. You can't improve. You cannot improve on this. The problem with systems is nobody takes care of it after it's built. They're like, ah, shit. There's nothing like, who gives a fuck? There's nothing else we can do because we built it already. And then you don't clean up your code. You cannot disseminate. You cannot extract new value from it. Oh, actually, you know what? This is the like. This is actually the not the. Okay, so this is like count, right? See, like count, and then this is the reply, and then this is the edit, and this is the. So you wanna clean up your code. It's very important to do that. Delete. So whenever you come on here, you run through your code. Ý rồi nè, có tôi run through code ý rồi nè, có tôi nhớ có lum bài nữa. Hey, this is how I built it, you know. So you become the expert at it. So the section layout here, it controls more than just this, right? There's a lot more. We don't want to put this up there, up here like this. In fact, it's a lot more than this, and it contains a sub widget and other things. But notice that all this is more beautiful than before, right? So you now know what you got. Okay, so this whole thing, we collapse it. Yeah, we understand what this code is. Now this is the um, reply avatar. This is not true anymore. This is actually, well, this is the sub. Yeah, this is true. This is the main widget here, but it also contains the reply. It also contains this guy here, right? So if you break this down, you can see what goes into this whole thing here. This thing here is a lot more, contains a lot more stuff than what we realize. So, okay, so this is the avatar, right? And then this right here contains the paragraph and button start. So clean up your code. Everything is worth a lot. When you give it to the customer, they can use it and you can support it. You can actually think about it, like say, hey, you think about it, you thought about it, it does not make sense, you know. You thought, and imagine if you thought about it long enough, and you're like, you know what I created really doesn't make sense, right? So you can improve on it in the future, right? And you could do it so much faster so that you can rest. So notice this is the UI read-only comment. But this displays whenever you're done updating it, right? So I don't fucking know what button starts is. What the fuck is a button start? This is some stupid ass shit I wrote yesterday. What is a button starts? It's a fucking idiot shit down here. We'll put this as view. reply UI. This is where you see the actual reply. Where you view it, right? And basically, when you're done replying, you can view it. That's what this means. Or you know what? We're gonna have to call this reply comment. And this is actually reply comment. Right? So you have reply comment avatar here, and you also have reply comment here. And this is the view only, right? So so down here you have the edit. Well, actually, you know what? No, you don't have the edit yet. This is still the view. This is really the view. Actually, you know what? This card layout contains this columns layout contains multiple cards. So you can't really say that up here. This has to be down here. So card layout view here, and then you got another one down here. This is where you edit the comment. This is actually a paragraph in which you can edit it. So look, it's easier to do this, right? So edit, right? Of course, it's got the paragraph field here, and then if you really wanted to, you can do this something like this, so that it's very clear. Edit paragraph. This right here is actually the submit. All right, put this in new line. Reply comment, edit paragraph, edit. Submit, edit. Right. And then if you take a look at this entire thing is actually just the edit and submit. Yeah, that's it. This whole entire thing is comment is edit and submit. Whereas this comment up here is only to view. And then this guy up here is actually just the avatar. So here we can say, up here, we can say something like edit slash view. Or maybe it's more correct to say view and then edit because it's in that order. So if you close this out, oh, actually, you know what? There's more. Let's fucking close this shit down. Right here. Why do we have columns layout here? Okay, the columns layout here divides everything up. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so we got reply comment here, right? Okay, so let's talk about this one here. This is where we update. Hmm. Oh, What? We have this card down here, and this is where we actually do the reply. What? Okay, so up here is actually where we do the edit reply. It's not really the. This is not where we. Yeah, this is no joke here. This is where we edit reply. Replied comment. Let's make no joke about this. Let's make it completely clear. Right. And this up here is actually view the replied comment. View the replied comment, right? So this is where we view the replied comment. This is where we edit the replied comment. So we know we have the reply comments here. View the replied comment and edit the replied comment. There's a difference between replying. There's a difference between the reply comment and also there's a difference between viewing the comment or actually um, editing the replied comment versus to comment to to edit the comment. I mean, edit the reply. Actually, down here is really just to okay. So this is how you reply, right? Reply. So, okay, this down here is when you reply to a comment. Let's think about this. Here is what you do to reply to a comment. Reply to a comment. Right. To edit a reply to a comment is different from sheer replying to a comment. So you reply to a comment is not the same thing as you edit your replied. Edit your reply to a comment. Yeah. One is you're updating, edit your reply to a comment. Right. And the other one is you're just viewing your comment, the comment that you reply. Review the reply to reply comment to a comment. View, edit your reply comment to a comment. Edit your reply to a comment. And here is just a simple reply to a comment. Completely different, right? In fact, we could put this up ahead first. We don't even have to put it at the bottom, right? In fact, that might be a little bit easier to consume, to read. So let's do that. Boom. Um, Here, right? What we're going to do here is we're going to comma this. Reply to a comment goes first. So we have the ability to reply does several things here, right? So we have reply to a comment and then reply and view, or actually um, edit your reply to a comment, view your reply to a comment. Okay. So this is doing multiple things here. And this is intended the way that it should, the way that it is, because it's got, okay, so it's got three things in here, right? And then now it's much easier to read this piece of code here, right? So, you have avatar here. Let's keep it consistent, right? And and then um, here, this entire thing. Wait a second here. Yeah. So reply, comment, avatar, reply to a comment, edit your reply to a comment, view your reply to a comment. Up here, you have main comment subwidget. This is where you draw the subwidget underneath the main, right? And then there's also this thing here where your main subwidget, reply, comment, avatar, reply. I don't even know if we should we should I don't know if we need this. I don't know if this will only confuse it a little bit more. Main subwidget, comment, operations, right? Maybe I just do a reply. Well, see, I'm gonna maybe this is okay. And this is if we really want to, we should probably fix this, right? And of course, we got this line here, right? And next line, and then next, and then this is much easier to absorb. We don't even need this end here. Because we know, like, if there's a space or two spaces following this, we know, and we know that that's the beginning of something or the end of something important. Okay. So you don't want to use this magic format thing. You want to keep it like this. right? And so you try to be consistent so that your team can actually you're developing with a team, so you have to be consistent with your team, otherwise, um, anyways. So we got like logics here, we got user logic here. Um, this is my comment. This has something to do with like checking Boolean to see this is this my comment or not, right? Um, because I mean, this could be printing out other people's comment at the same time. It's at that level that we check to see, hey, is this my comment or not, right? And then down here it says user profile caption here. This is where if you move your mouse over the avatar here, you see people's name or something, right? So record type, things are stored in in the manner that they are. Um, what's interesting is that um, we're controlling the view of this entire form by, hey, is there a comment in this thing? Right, which I'm not sure if we should do. We should really control like this from the probably show type logic. So imagine if you, yeah, so I don't, this doesn't really make sense to me. Show reply comment here. Well, we only show reply comment here if, and this is reply to a comment. This is not um, the reply comment, right? So the reply comment is down here when you want to display it. Show reply comment. This is when you want to display it, right? And what's good is the only time that you want to display this form up here, this reply to a comment up here, is when really is when reply is clicked on. Well, when you click on reply, right? Hold on. Let's see if we messed it up even more. Okay. So reply here. Let's close reply. Open it back up. Edit. Uh, edit. Reply. Open. So whenever you hit reply, the only thing that changes is we want to display the entire reply section, right? When you click on this, it says show all, but then we understand that there is some logic underneath here, right? That's why we only want to show this when the create reply comment record is there's something in there, right? I mean, there's nothing in there. That's the only time that we want to show this. Yeah, the only time we want to show the ability to update this is when there's no comment. So let's go to test here, and let's prove this. If we click on reply, it should only now because there's nothing in here in create reply comment record. There's nothing in here. It's going to display this piece of it, right? And this piece of it can then control the show reply, which is right here, showing this right? And then inside of here, when they click on edit, right? So let's do it. Reply, it's going to show an empty paragraph here. I'm going to say my reply, right? And then we will hit reply. And then now there's my edit. I mean, now it displays, now it's set, basically it's set the show reply comment to true. You know what? We have to change this to like something better, like maybe um, oops, show replied. Right, there's a replied comment. Okay. Oh crap. Show reply comment here should really be called show replied comment. What? Let's test this again. I think because we did that, it screwed up. All right, still good. We're still good. So we are setting show reply comment to be true, right? As soon as we hit the reply and it returns back unsuccessful, successfully saved to the database, then that's when we show replied comment. Show replied comment then opens this one up, and it's going to show it's the text, and then it's going to show the edit link here, right? And here, if we click on edit here, right, it's going to hide, right? It's going to hide this thing, this entire thing. It's going to hide this entire thing, and it's going to show the edit replied comment. All right, so really we should probably call this replied comment, right? So even 找路了呢，别只到包呢，别只到包的要被 past tense 呢，你别只到说的，特别的包的 OK. He's talking about something that already happened, right? So there you go. Edit. When you click on edit, what happens? When we click on edit, it hides what we saw earlier, and it's going to display this thing here. At the same time, it's going to send everything that we saw earlier in this text here, and it's going to send it all the way into another record type called edit. Right? So essentially, so you got to think about the naming convention here all of the time whenever you're doing this, right? Because like, okay, look, we're taking this text up here. This is actually the created reply comment record, right? So is it really created replied comment record or hmm. Let's call it create because actually that's essentially what we're doing, but it's really the replied comment. Created replied Maybe it's the created replied comment. Or maybe it's called the create replied comment record, right? Because we're essentially creating it. Right? It exists only after we replied to a comment, right? Fuck. I gotta get to. Mm. So maybe we say create replied comment and edit replied comment record, right? Let's do that for now. Let's convert this over to. We're just gonna say replied, edit replied comment record. Okay, we're gonna test this. Right, we're gonna reply to this, reply, edit it, and now we're editing this thing again. So when you click on edit, here's what's happening. It's turning this thing off, right? It's turning this thing off. It's turning on another UI down here somewhere. Show edit, right? So it's probably somewhere, or maybe where is it at? Let's locate it. Control F. No, down here. Okay, it's turning this thing on down here, right? And it's because it's hiding this thing. You don't see this thing along with this thing down here. See, false means that it'll it'll hide this one, and true means it'll show this one down here, and it'll pass in this um this thing that was created up here, right? It'll pass that into the edit replied here, into this paragraph field here, as you can see, right? And then it's going to build the submit button, everything for you. And then as it hits this thing down here, right? You have this submit button here. And so what's interesting here is that it needs something to occur inside of the process model. It's going to send a is update so that inside of the process model it takes a different path. Let me open that up here. This is the process model, but okay. So what it's going to do is going to call the same process, but this for this different use case here, which is edit your reply, right? Reply comments, edit your reply to a comment, right? So here, so you have, we're just going to edit it. Click on this, and before we do that though, I mean, we just did that already, but check this out down here. And what we're doing is we're passing, we're actually assigning, and we're also saying that the edit replied comment record, which is a local variable that we created all the way up there, we're going to assign it here. This is equivalent to assigning it. Okay. This is when you save into, this is equivalent to assigning it. Up here is notice that it's not assigned to anything here, right? Okay. These now these are assigned to true, false, whatever. These are all assigned to false. False, 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 false. This is assigned to nothing. It's we're just creating it so that we could actually use it later down here. Okay. So keep in mind that um, that we are once we are here, right? Once we are here, view, comment, reply. Once we're down here. Fuck shit, man. I have to log into work here. Hold on. So, okay, so we cleaned up this code really well. So notice that we created the whatever's returned back from our initial reply. We save it to create replied comment record. Once we do that, right, we click on edit earlier, and then what it does is it then sends it to an edit, right? And when we send it to an edit, here's what's happening down here, right? We are then showing, we're showing again this replied comment here, right? Which is, which is once we see this form here, we click on edit, right? I mean, once we see this form here, we enter the paragraph, data into the paragraph, and then we hit the submit button, right? Then what happens after we hit the submit button? It actually turns on the show replied comment here, right? It turns this thing on again, right? So that we can continue the process of updating it and submitting it again, right? But down here, we're actually telling it to shut itself off again, right? So notice that we're getting something from the database and we're saving it to the edit replied, right? Which then, right? Because look, we're passing this back into the database, and then we're getting it back again, right? And then we're assigning it to the create replied again, so that back up here we could call this back up here again, right? So that it goes back into this thing up here. And so this exchange between this and this is sort of like backwards, if you know what I mean, right? It's like because we want to go between this one and this one, we're every time we edit, it passes back into this one down here. And then we pass this into this paragraph field up here, and then we're then able to update it, and then we're able to pass it back into the process model. The process model then um, saves it, sends it back out to us, and then what we do is, okay, so we don't even need to send it back and forth like this. And perhaps maybe what we could do is we could be very clear about this. And fuck, man, I gotta go to a meeting here. See here. What the hell is my phone, man? All right, so you see here, where's my team at? Where's my team at? Um, Oh shit, my team's not available. Okay, so anyways, let's continue this video here real quick. We probably don't even need this, right? But we need this so that for posterity, I mean for clarity, right? So that you kind of see things where things are going, right? Perhaps maybe what we could do is we could just because we already have this guy here and we're passing this into the process. This guy comes back and oh, no, we don't even need this. This this kind of does not make a lot of sense, right? Oh shit, what am I doing? So here, we're saving this directly to this. We can delete this guy here, but we have to test it. Remember that, okay? So try not to save it until you actually go to test it. Okay. So you always have to do this after you build something really sophisticated and cool, right? Let's go to reply, let's just say my reply, and then go to reply here. Good. Now I'm trying to edit it. Click on edit, and this is my reply. Edit it, right? And then edit reply, and then cool. That works again. Another time, and then click on edit reply. And so as you can tell, I think things are working as expected. You can even go to reply here and hide it, and then click on reply again and show it, and then go to edit here. You can edit this guy up here, edit it, right? And then go to edit here. Uh, so let's go to edit down here. Another edit reply. Okay, so things are working as expected, right? So because we're passing this, right? We all of these things are passed from the very top here, right? When you after the main, and you got a reply, you got the reply avatar, and you got the reply here, and then you can start a reply to a comment, and things are turned on and off based on the success of the data that is stored to the database, right? On success means that things are stored successfully to the database, or the process did not experience any issue at all, right? So, you know, um, keep in mind, you always have to keep in mind that um, you always have to go back and rename things much more properly, right? So like show, all the show UIs begin with show, maybe the record type here that's returned back. Maybe you call it record type in the beginning here or something, right? Um, yeah. So for example, create replied comment record here. Or maybe you should say record type um, create replied comment, something like that, right? So that it's easier to read. So for instance, right? Let's say for example we do this. We say record type, and then we say create replied comment, right? And so we know automatically that this guy is really the this one too. Keep in mind it's got a comma at the end. So here we may call this one record type edit comment. This guy here too. Or you might want to call this guy record type edit replied comment. And the reason why we're doing all this is so that when we read it, kisa, penyin kisa, right? Bedu body na chia. Yeah, bedu body okay. So how the UI na how process UI everything. It's generating, certain record types. It's creating it. It's for the purpose of returning a record type, if you know what I mean. Down here, it's mostly for like Boolean understanding, right? Like anything that is or show or whatever, these are booleans, true or false. But user profile, maybe this we stick to user profile for now. But um, anyways, you have to continue to test this thing, right? You don't want to like make these little small mistakes because sometimes I'm gonna replace data, then to replace. For example, if I want to only replace, if I had a variable that only has like local bang reply in it, and there's also a variable that exists that called local bang reply text, right? And I only want to change um, local bang reply, and I happen to search this up, it's going to find all of the local bang reply and whatever else is at the end of that, right? So that's why I mean, some you have to really test your application or have the user test it or something, right? Or you could do automated testing. You know. All right, so let's save this. Let's go um, to the site. So again, this was the process earlier, right? There's different use cases that we're creating record or we are or updating, right? We're either updating or we're creating, right? And the reason for this is that inside of here we're returning something different, right? We're returning something different. Here we're returning whatever was saved, but we're returning a different variable, right? So that we can use it in here, right? So that we can use it in here because look, this one is updating, right? This one is updating. We want to use this logic here, right? Potentially, well, you know what? Because of the way that we're hiding and showing things, it almost like it's okay. Um, maybe it's okay, right? As soon as you're done building something like this, you have to say, I'm done building it. What can I get rid of, right? So that because I probably created a bunch of junk in here. Right? If I created a bunch of junk in here, those need to be removed. You know, like for instance, this guy here. We are saving things that come back. Yeah, right. But where are we using this one? We're saving it. Okay, so we use it here, right? We use it here, but are we also using it for other purposes besides this? Because essentially, okay, so there's multiple things going on here, right? You can have a reply to this. So like you could also have like you could also be editing up here, right? And you could also be editing down here. So wherever you have to edit stuff, okay, maybe it should have a different um, variable that comes back, right? And maybe it should have a different its own set of variables, right? And so that you don't overlap any logic or stuff like that, right? So it's good to make sure that you don't overlap your logics. Keep things separate And that way, if you want to do additional logics later, you can. Notice that there are more to it than just this thing here and this thing here. There's also one hidden behind this. Notice when I show edit reply comment, well, there's actually one that's just reply comment, right? Just because it doesn't show doesn't mean it does not exist. See this one. This one's a reply comment only. This is a simple reply comment, but if I go to reply and I hit edit, there's a edit reply comment now, right? I'm putting these down here so that we can easily see which UI is actually open, right? Eventually we'll delete, these things, right? But that's why you have to have create and update and maybe have different ones for different purposes for different UI, stuff like that. But go to test here, manage here, image comment here, and reply. I'm just gonna say reply. I can edit it, right? And I'm just gonna say I made a mistake, right? Now let's go back. Let's pretend we come back then in a little bit and we look for it. Yeah. So it's good, right? So I made a mistake, whatever, right? So this is this is okay. This is good for simple commenting, right? This is recursion. So recursion at its finest because um, yeah, this is massive recursion. Okay, so this is it.